Hey, good evening, everybody. Hey, today's video is going to be a little different. Today we're going to talk about minority superheroes. The reason I'm going to talk about minority superheroes is because a lot of us that are into comic books and pop culture and stuff like that, they're we want to talk about their importance to, people of different ethnicities and backgrounds, and still going to drink, but it's the evening, so got my Michelob, okay, Ultra Lime Cactus, okay, and we're going to do an unboxing, okay, but first I'm going to do things a little incognito, and I invite you all to drink with me, So like I told you guys before, I have besides comic books, unlike other things, I collect Funko Pops. I've been collecting them for years. And I have a pretty decent autograph collection. Not only do I collect Funko Pops, but every now and then I get stuff. I got my buddy, I got a lot of buddies. Well, specifically one buddy. Shout out to my boy Zachary Belfast. He always comes through for me. There's this specific pop that I'm about to unbox, and it's a superhero. It's a superhero he's a minority. He's in the Marvel Comics. He's in Marvel Comics. You all know what I'm talking about when I when I do this unboxing. And I had a Funko Pop before, an autographed Funko Pop from the voice actor of this specific minority superhero or character. But, might have gotten away when a couple years ago when I had to sell them to, get some money and stuff. Because, autograph stuff that's actually certified and listed, it can go for some money. You can get some decent money for it, if it's legit. So without further ado, I'm going to surprise you guys, and we're going to do this unboxing because I've been waiting on this. And my buddy Z, shout out to my boy Zachary Belfast. He's down in, he lives down in, out in Clarksville, Tennessee. He got this signed for me. He's probably got like 99% of my Funko Pop signed for me, because when I was in the military, not only was I a big collector, pretty hardcore. There were specific like celebrities or musicians or somebody particular I liked at a Funko Pop, and they were going to be at a con or event, he would get them signed for me. So shout out to my boy Zachary, and we're going to do this unboxing. So without further ado, let's do this unboxing. I'm going to turn my camera around for you. Just give me 1 second here. You guys give me 1 second. All right, here we go. We're gonna unbox this bad boy. So here we go. Take this bad boy out. Look at that package, nice. Oh, you guys already seen it. Take it out. All right. Guys can already see what it is right now. Box this bad boy. Oh. Voila, here we go. Check that out. Isn't that cool? Miles Morales. Okay, this is from the first Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse movie. You guys are familiar with this if you've watched the movie. And this was signed by the voice actor, Shamik. And it's certified. Look at that. There's a gold JSA certification right there. That's what you want when you get stuff signed at cons. This certifies, and it's got the old certification number that the actual celebrity or person signed it. And this thing is beautiful. I'm glad to have a Miles Morales back in my collection because I had one before, but unfortunately I sold it. So this thing is staying in my PC, and I don't plan on getting rid of it. All right. And Miles Morales is a minority. Okay. He is of Hispanic descent. He's Puerto Rican and black. Well, the character is. And he's a Spider-Man from a different universe. Obviously, I'm not going to get into it. They put him in. He was in an Ultimate Universe, and I'm not going to get into it. The multiverse and stuff like that. I'm not going to nerd out on you guys, but now he became, he ended up in the Spider-Man we all know, Peter Parker's universe. So all the universes kind of, the multi-universes, they kind of combine them into one universe where him and Spider-Man could exist in the same universe. 616, I believe. Forgive me, I haven't picked up a comic book in a long time. But anyways, where I'm getting at is the reason I wanted to talk about minority superheroes is because they're important, okay? When I was growing up as a kid, I loved superheroes. I never really paid a lot of attention. I try not to let race or color get in the way because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. But it's always, as a kid, kids always want to be able to identify with somebody that kind of looks similar to them. And, seeing black superheroes, minority superheroes like Black Panther, Blade, Luke Cage, Storm, African Americans can identify a little bit more with them, and kids growing up, because you want to be able to kind of relate, and I'm not saying that superheroes can't relate to little kids in other ways, because Peter Parker can relate to the guy that's down on his luck, and he has real problems, but Peter Parker is also, he's also a Caucasian. He's not of African American descent. It's just like Kamala Khan, or she's a superhero, but she's of or it's like it's another. Forgive me if I'm messing up. I'm having a brain fart here, but it's just like Shang-Chi. He's of Asian descent. People want to be able to identify, and they want to see people, similar to them, and they want to get their shine, and that's okay. And I'm not trying to make this a race thing. I'm just talking about culture just in general, and it actually, I think it's good for the culture, because back when I was a kid, all the superheroes that I saw, they were majority of them were all white. Let's be honest. There weren't a lot of African American, Asian, Indian, Native American superheroes and stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, Marvel Comics and DC had brought different characters, but they're getting better about it, and they've gotten better about it over the years, and they've become a little bit more aware of that stuff, culturally aware. So I just think it's important, and it's good for kids, and I think they're doing better job. They're doing a better job about it, because I'm not gonna say they always do a good job about it, because sometimes they'll race swap somebody on the big screen, and it's like, okay, I'll use this as an example. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to see a black Superman, but some characters you just need to leave alone. Does that make sense? But Samuel L., he played Nick Fury, and Nick Fury originally in the comic books, in the Marvel Comics universe, in Marvel, was a Caucasian. He wasn't black. He wasn't African American. Okay, so, but I think it was good, and Samuel L. took that character and he ran away with it, and he did such a good job that it kind of he kind of changed the way we, the Marvel universe as a whole, and they kind of made that character his character, and it kind of changed the history behind the Nick Fury character. Does that make sense? So it's just good to see that, and good to see that they adapt, and I think that kind of cultural awareness with minority characters is good. I'm not going to talk you guys to death. Just wanted to do something different than talk about, negative stuff, or not necessarily negative stuff, but always talk about something that, those topics that kind of are a little, I wouldn't say sensitive, but, those topics that are kind of controversial and make you think. I wanted to do something different. So that's why I did that unboxing, that character. I figured I'd just kind of intertwine and mix the two, share with you guys something I got at the con. I got signed an autograph of a minority character from a comic book, and then just talk about the significance of, like, those type of characters, because they are important to people. And I mean, they're not real heroes, but on the other hand, you never know what little kid is, because I was one of those little kids when I was a kid growing up, that was, besides my father, I had a good imagination, and I like comic books, and it was always nice every now and then to see, a superhero that looked similar to me, or like, someone in my family, if that makes sense. But all right, I hope y'all have a good one. Hope I didn't talk y'all to death. Have a good evening. I know this isn't what you guys are accustomed to in my normal videos, but I figured I'd change it up and do something different. And you guys have a good night. Show you guys one more time. Look at that bad boy. Isn't that nice? Shout out to my boy Z again.